My boyfriend of 3 years just found out his ex got engaged, and now he's basically a total mess, nonstop crying, and I'm at a complete loss on how to deal with this whole situation. I'm a 22-year-old woman, and I met my 24-year-old boyfriend 3 years ago through some mutual friends. When we first met, he was really guarded, like he had a fortress around his emotions. And get this, I was actually the one who had to put on my dating game face and pursue him. We were in a long-distance relationship at first. I was living in Oregon and he was in Washington. It was tough, those long drives and endless phone calls. But I was really into him, so I made it work. Then, last year, I took the plunge and moved in with him. My boyfriend hasn't had a whole lot of romantic history. Before me, had only had one serious relationship and a hookup. The hookup was a disaster, though. He cut ties with her ages ago because she was, as he put it, completely off the wall crazy. But with his ex, it was a different story. They dated when he was just 15, and their relationship lasted for about 2 years. Then, out of the blue, she dumped him, saying he had no self-respect. And ever since then, it's like that breakup left a deep scar on him. She's the reason he's so closed off emotionally now. I'll be honest, I was super jealous of her. She's really beautiful, and my boyfriend used to talk about her like she was some kind of oracle who had all the answers to life's questions. I was relieved when she cut off contact with him about 2 years ago. This past January, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I heard my boyfriend sniffling quietly. I could tell he was looking at his phone, and I was torn. I didn't know if I should say something or just let him have his private moment. After a while, he got up and went to the bathroom. And, yeah, I know it was sneaky, but I couldn't resist taking a peek at his phone. And there he was on Facebook, looking at his ex's profile. She had gotten engaged, and there were these gorgeous pictures of her engagement ring, and all the celebratory stuff. It's been 2 months since then, and my boyfriend has been having these random breakdowns out of nowhere. One minute he's okay, and the next he's in tears. I keep trying to get him to open up and talk to me about it, but he clams up and refuses. I even suggested he talk to a therapist, but he got all defensive and insulted, saying he doesn't believe in that therapy mumbo-jumbo. At this point, these emotional meltdowns happen at least twice a week, and I'm at my wit's end. I love him, but he's always seemed a bit distant, and it's crystal clear that this ex-girlfriend of his is the root of the problem. I'm even considering reaching out to her myself to see if she has any idea what's going on. I mean, he didn't seem this bothered when she was dating other people, so I'm thinking she must have said something to really set him off. Sometimes we think we're more emotionally available than we actually are. And I want you to know this. It's not your fault. I find this happens with people who run away from their feelings and don't process grief. It all comes back and bites them in the butt big time. He probably didn't even realize it when he got with you that he was like this, and now it's just spiraled out of his control. I'm going to be straight up with you, and I'm sorry. You sound like an incredibly loving and patient girlfriend. But, to be honest, he sounds like a bit of a jerk, putting his ex-girlfriend before you emotionally like that. And no, I think in the long run, you'll find it's going to be an uphill battle with him. I mean, a massive turnaround is highly unlikely if he's this bad 3 years into your relationship. 3 years is a long time to invest in a relationship, I know. But think about it. Wouldn't you rather be with someone who thinks you're the most amazing woman in the world? I love him. From the moment I laid eyes on him, I knew I wanted to be with him. He's super smart and charming, and there's just something about him. But you're right. I've always felt like him in the shadow of his ex, and I didn't realize just how much until now. When I think back, there were definitely signs I missed when we first started dating. I remember telling him that he seemed reluctant to open up to me, and he said it was because his ex had taught him not to be too vulnerable. I thought that as our relationship got more serious, had opened up more, and he did to some extent. But every time he had any contact with his ex, had pull away from me again for a while. I still don't know why his ex cut off contact with him, but after she did, he did seem more committed to our relationship, and I had hope for us. He was the one who suggested I move in with him, after all. But now, with all this going on, he barely wants to talk to me, and it's breaking my heart. It's over. I can't believe it, but it's really over. I called my dad and asked him to help me move back home. These last 2 days have been an emotional roller coaster. My boyfriend was gone all day yesterday. He wasn't there when I woke up, and I just assumed he went to work early. But when I went to bed, he still wasn't home. I texted him in the morning to say good morning, and then I texted him twice at night. One message was asking if he was coming home for dinner, and the other was asking if he was okay. I even tried calling his cell phone, but he didn't pick up. I felt like I deserved some answers, so I decided to do some snooping. And yeah, I'll admit, I've done this once before, when I was feeling insecure about his relationship with his ex. So I opened his laptop and started looking around. Hidden in a bunch of subfolders, I found an MS Word document with his ex's name on it. I took a deep breath and started reading. And let me tell you, it was like a punch in the gut. I'm pretty sure he saved the last conversation he had with her right before she cut off contact. It started out as a normal conversation, but then he asked how her relationship with her no-fiance, then boyfriend, was going. She said it was good, and that she was happy. And then things got really strange. He said something like, "Really? Are you sure?" She said yes, and thought it was a weird question. And then he went on to say that he didn't believe she was truly happy. I can't remember all the details exactly because my head was spinning, but basically, he told her that her fiancé would never treat her as well as he did. He said that they had known each other for so many years and managed to stay friends after their breakup, and that they had helped each other grow as people. And get this, he told her that she should give him another chance. He said that he had waited for her all these years and that he loved her and always believed they'd end up back together. And this was all while we were in a relationship. She didn't hold back, though. She called him out, saying he had a lot of nerve to say all that to her, especially since she had told him a long time ago that they'd only ever be friends. And she said he was an even bigger jerk for doing this while they were both in relationships. She told him to go to hell and to break up with me for my sake, because I deserved better. And that wasn't even the worst part. This morning, my boyfriend woke me up by calling my cell phone and telling me to come to the kitchen. He said he made breakfast, so I dragged myself out of bed, expecting a fight. We never really fought before, but I was so angry and hurt. When I got to the kitchen, there was this amazing-looking breakfast on the table, and in the middle of it was a ring box. He told me to open it, so I did. And then he started saying something like, "These last 3 years with me have been an adventure, and I hope to keep making new adventures with you." But something just snapped inside me. I exploded. I demanded to know where he was all day yesterday, why he wouldn't contact me, and why he had been crying over his ex for the last 3 months. I wanted answers, and I wanted them now. He got mad at me for being mad. Can you believe that? He told me I should be happy because he was proposing, and wasn't that what I wanted? I asked him why he was proposing when it was so obvious that he still wanted to be with his ex. He said that she had clearly moved on, so it was time for him to move on too. I've never been so angry in my life. I've been so patient with him, trying to understand his situation and giving him everything I had. I'm not going to marry him just to be his second choice, his consolation prize. It's so ironic because if he had proposed 4 months earlier, I would have been over the moon. But now, it just shattered our relationship. So, yeah, I called my dad, crying my eyes out, and he's on his way to help me move back in with him and my mom. That's it. I'm a total mess. But I think it's because all the messed up things in this relationship are finally hitting me, and it took me so long to see them clearly. And there's my ex, just sitting on the couch with his laptop like nothing's wrong. Thank you guys so much for helping me see how unfair this whole relationship was. I read every single one of your comments, even if I didn't have a chance to respond to them all. He made a mistake. People have made bigger mistakes before and overcome them. He was putting you first by proposing to you. You said you had 3 years of a happy relationship together before this. Although he had a temporary lapse in judgment, he still wants you. You're looking for an incredibly perfect fairy tale where everything plays out exactly like you wanted it. After you break up, you'll start to realize all the things he did to show he loved you, things that should outweigh this revelation. Sounds like you're being a bit too rigid, like it's your way or the highway. Hopefully, if another man loves you, he'll be willing to put up with that. I thought my relationship was happy too. But I had no idea that my ex was declaring his love for his ex-girlfriend and trying to win her back while we were still together. And I also didn't know that when she blocked him on Facebook, he was logging into my account to keep tabs on her. If you really think that someone who's been crying for 3 months over an ex's engagement truly wanted to be with me, you're definitely in the minority. And judging by the fact that he bought the ring the day before he proposed, he really hadn't thought this through at all. I'm just blown away by your comment, to be honest. First of all, I want to thank everyone who commented on my last post. I really took your words to heart, and all the support means the world to me. I took a break from Reddit for a while, but I logged in today and found a few private messages asking for another update. So, hey Race, what's been going on? After I moved back home, my ex went kind of crazy. I blocked him on pretty much everything: my phone, social media, you name it. I even changed all my passwords and deactivated my Facebook, so he had no way of reaching me, except maybe by showing up at my parents' house. But apparently, he started reaching out to my friends, some of whom are our mutual friends. He was asking them if he could use their Discord accounts to talk to me. He told them that I stole some things from him when I moved out and that he wanted them back. I got a bunch of phone calls from my friends asking me about this. They said they knew I wouldn't steal anything from him, because that's just not who I am. But they wanted to know why he was so desperate to contact me. I wasn't ready to tell the whole story. Honestly, I didn't think anyone would believe me. So I just told them I didn't know what was going on, and asked them not to give him their Discord accounts under any circumstances. A few days after that, the phone calls started coming in from a bunch of different numbers that I didn't recognize. I didn't pick up any of them, but some days I'd have like 20 missed calls from one number and then another 20 or more from a different number. It was so annoying. I had to set my phone to only allow calls from specific numbers, or else it would go straight to voicemail. Even though he couldn't actually talk to me, he still managed to make me feel really isolated. After the 5th day of these phone calls, I just broke down and told my mom everything that happened. She listened quietly and let me get it all out. After I was done, she told me that I made the right decision. She said there's no reason I should have to go through this alone, and that she didn't want to push me to tell her what happened until I was ready. But she said the best thing I could do right now was to spend time with people who love and support me. So, after she helped me get my phone number changed, she encouraged me to start calling my friends and telling them what happened and just hanging out with them more. I had it in my head that everyone would side with my ex and tell me that I made a huge mistake, that his intentions were good, and that I overreacted by thinking he only proposed because his ex got engaged. But I was really surprised by my friends' responses. Apparently, my ex had been telling everyone that we broke up because I had major jealousy issues over his ex. But once they heard my side of the story, I was shocked at how many of them said it made sense. They all told me that I did the right thing, and that they'd have my back no matter what. I felt such a sense of relief, and I've been making an effort to go out and have fun with my friends more. I'll be honest, though. There are still times when I wonder if I made the right decision. Sometimes I think that maybe my ex was just grieving over his old relationship, and proposing to me was his way of moving on and starting fresh. And sometimes I think that I turned down the only marriage proposal I might ever get. And then there are times when I think that maybe I should have accepted it because I really loved him, and it's not every day you find someone you truly love. But then, on the days when I'm feeling more rational, I remind myself of how strange our last few weeks together were, how I always knew deep down that I was second fiddle to his ex, and how he's been acting since we broke up. I've never seen him so unstable. He used to be so calm and level-headed, so this is all really new and scary to me. I know in my heart that I did the right thing, but sometimes what your head knows and what your heart feels are two completely different things. So that's basically where I'm at. I'm just taking things one day at a time, and am going to make an appointment with a therapist. I wish I had something more profound to tell you guys, some great wisdom I've gained, but I don't. My best advice for anyone going through something similar is what my mom told me. Surround yourself with people who love and support you. Final update nearly 2 months after last update. Hey there, Reddit. I just wanted to give you all an update on what's been happening in my life. I also want to apologize for not responding to any of the comments in my last post. I was in a really bad place at the time and I just wasn't up for it. But I did read each and every one of your comments, and I truly appreciate all the kind words and advice from those of you who took the time to comment. First of all, my ex mailed me the engagement ring that he bought shortly after my last update. I was completely caught off guard. I didn't know what to do with it. I wasn't sure if this was the stolen item he had been accusing me of taking. And I felt really weird about mailing it back to him, because what if he said he never received it? So, my dad offered to personally deliver the ring back to him. I have no idea what was said when my dad gave it to him, and I never asked. I just didn't want to think about it anymore. Second, I heard from some friends that 2 weeks ago, my ex bought a ticket and flew all the way to NYC to try and talk to his ex. I couldn't believe it. Somehow, he found out the name of the company she worked for, looked up its location, and then waited in front of the building all day long. I have no clue what happened, but apparently, there's no sign that she's back in touch with him, so I'm guessing it didn't go well at all. I'm still in shock that he would do something so extreme. And I can't believe that I dated someone who could be that obsessive for 3 whole years. But every time I hear something like this, it just makes me even more sure that I made the right decision to break up with him. I also met with 2 therapists. The first one wasn't really a good fit for me. Every time I said something, all he would ask was, "And how do you feel about that?" He didn't give me any feedback or suggestions, just kept asking that same question. At the end of the session, he suggested that I might be depressed and that I should consider taking some different medications. I have no intention of seeing that guy again. But the second therapist I met with last week was great. She told me that she doesn't think I need to see her regularly, but that I should feel free to make appointments whenever I'm feeling really down or stressed out. So, I think I'll do that. Some people asked me in my last post why I wanted to see a therapist when I seemed to be handling things okay. Well, the thing is, even though I knew I was doing the right thing by breaking up with my ex, I didn't always feel like it was the right decision.